Welcome back, everybody. When we're on our travels, many of us look forward to a delicious drink as the sun goes down, or sundowners, as it's often called. I'm joined today by Kat Gemberis from the multi-award-winning Elephant Gin, and we're going to talk about the inspiration behind it and also make a delicious cocktail too. So, hello, Kat. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Great to see you, Andrew. Hello, everyone.
Fantastic. There we go. Yeah. Now, Kat, I'd like to ask first, why did Elephant Gin's founders, Tessa and Robin, decide to make it?
So they both traveled extensively across Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa, filming the incredible scenery and wildlife, and of course, meeting with the elephant conservation charities along the way. And when they got back to Germany, where they both from, they decided to create Elephant Gin for all of you wildlife adventurers out there, with the aim to protect the African elephant.
Outstanding. And also, I understand that through a percentage of bottle sales, you're continuing to achieve that aim, aren't you?
Oh, yes. So far, we've been able to contribute over €500,000 towards various anti-poaching activities and conservation projects. And we're hoping to actually reach $1 million by the end of this year.
I mean, that's fantastic. Congratulations on that achievement. I'd like to talk about some of your conservation partners in a moment, but before that, I'd like to talk about the gin. Can you please tell us why this is so special?
Of course, the gin is handcrafted in Germany, produced in small batches. Using the traditional method of copper distillation in Arnold Holstein still. It's a slow, gentle distillation process, which ensures rich flavors and a very high level of quality.
Now, you use botanicals most of us would recognize, but you also use some really, really unusual ingredients as well, don't you?
Oh, yes. So we use each batch is distilled using 14 botanicals, but it includes some rare Africans, rare botanicals like baobab, for example. You can see the fruit here. It's a powder. We use it to add a citrus sharp note. It's a favorite of elephants. It's an African superfruit. We also have a boohoo plant, and that has a black currant flavor. It's used across South Africa for all kinds of pains and stomach troubles. We also have African wormwood, which gives it a bitter and floral note. Devil's Claw, which is famed for its healing properties and adds an aromatic bitter flavor. And of course, lion's tail, that's native to South Africa and treated as a magical herb. Gives a lovely herbaceous note. I've tried smoking it in South Africa, didn't do much, but it could just be me. All of these together create this unique and distinct flavor profile for Elephant Gin.
Well, I mean, this seems like a really good time to have a taste. So shall we pour a little bit out and we'll have a little taste neat first. I'll have a little smell of that first. I mean, the aroma is amazing. I mean, it's really complex. It kind of citrus aromas, juniper, there's orange peel in there as well, but there's something else in there too, isn't there?
That's probably the mountain pine and African boohoo. That's like blackcurrant, kind of a little bit eucalyptusy flavor profile. It has quite a powerful note, but let's have a taste.
I mean, that is delicious. I mean, it's quite intense, isn't it? There's like a blast of fresh aroma, but there's a sweetness underneath it that's really, really natural.
Yeah, I think after the initial freshness, it has this full-bodied botanical taste. It has a long finish. It's perfect for a simple G&T, but also robust enough to work with almost any cocktail recipe as well.
In which case, it seems to me that we should actually make that cocktail. Now, you've got lots and lots of amazing cocktails on your website, but today I've actually chosen a twist on a classic cocktail that pretty much anyone can make at home. This one's called an apple gimlet.
And that's a great choice. A gimlet is actually traditionally gin and fresh lime juice, but this will work perfectly because our second ingredient, after juniper, of course, are local apples from orchards surrounding the distillery. So for this cocktail, apples will replace the lime juice.
Now, I also chose this cocktail. I traveled the world when I was in the Royal Navy for quite a long time. And it was widely believed that Surgeon Admiral Thomas Gimlet created the gimlet when he added lime juice to the daily gin ration for the men of the Royal Navy. And that was to help curb the ravages of scurvy at the time.
I love that connection.
So here we go. I've got here some fresh green apple juice. Now I put this through my juice extractor a little while ago, but of course you can use ready-made juice as well if you like, can't you?
Of course, but you have to make sure you actually use the freshest and the best quality apple juice you can get, just to match the quality of the gin itself.
Yeah, quite right. So Kat, shall we make the cocktail together?
Ready where you are.
So here we go. Or in fact, we'll start with the gin first. This absolutely incredible gin. So we're going to go 50 milliliters of the gin goes into our cocktail shaker. And then we're going to put 75 milliliters of fresh apple juice in, and then half of that again there. And then as a nod to the traditional gimlet, of course, we're going to go in with about 50 ml of lime juice, fresh lime juice, or one whole lime juice. That's probably going to get you about right there. It smells amazing already, doesn't it, Kat?
Oh, it's fantastic. Ooh.
Then into that now, we're going to chuck a couple of cubes of ice. And then we're going to give that a really nice shake up, making sure, of course, if you're doing this at home, folks, make sure the lid is on this properly, okay? So, a nice little shake. I think that should do us. Take my towel. And then, of course, all we need to do is strain this into the glass. Now, I've got a coupe glass here, but you can use any glass you want, really, can't you, Kat?
Yeah, I mean, even a short tumbler, something smaller that ideally also keep the glass in the freezer as well. That's going to keep the drink cold and fresh for longer as well.
Lovely. And I've got one final little twist here. Just give us a nice bit of color. I've got a lovely red apple here. So I'm just going to take a little peel off there. And we'll just pop that into the glass there, just for a little bit of color. And if I hold that forward, there we go.
I'm a little lazy. I'm just using a dried apple on top. So here we are.
Oh, even better. So that will sit there nice and perfectly. Love that. So what do you think? Should we have a little taste?
It's about time. My favorite part.
Okay, here we go. Sorry if you're not tasting this at home, folks. Here we go.
Mmm.
Ho, ho, ho. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's really delicious. I mean, it's really clean. It's really fresh. But there's so much flavor from the African botanicals in there.
Now, that's a perfect drink for sundowners anywhere around the world.
Now, I'm going to continue to enjoy this, Kat. So while I do that, would you tell us a little about the bottle? I'm going to hold this close to the camera because the bottles are really, really special, aren't they?
Yes, so as you guys can tell from the shape, the bottles are custom made, sealed with natural cork. All the labels are handwritten by our calligrapher, and they all feature a name of the elephants that the foundations we support help to protect. You can actually always head to our website and look up that name in our blog, so you can hear and look up the story of your elephant.
I mean, all of this, this really speaks to the commitment to sustainable production methods that you have, doesn't it? You take that very seriously.
We do. Besides the elephant conservation part, we also try to do everything we can to produce this gin in the most sustainable and planet-friendly way possible. For example, we replaced the plastic seal on the top with a cornstarch-based solution. We work hard on limiting our carbon footprint. We produce paper out of elephant dung, and we support local communities in South Africa and Kenya. Yes, we do. For example, the beads you see on our slow gin bottles, these are actually made by ladies from Maasai tribe in Kenya, and you can wear it as a bracelet or a necklace. And we also work with lots of bartenders on several waste reducing initiatives within bar scene as well.
I mean, that's just brilliant, all the things you're doing there. I mentioned at the start, I'd like to talk about your conservation partners. Can you tell us who you're currently supporting and working with, please?
Sure. So first one is Big Life Foundation. It's an anti-poaching organization which protects 2 million acres of wilderness in Amboseli Tsavo ecosystem of East Africa. We actually contribute salaries to fund 45 rangers' salaries there, rations, equipment. And these guys actually protect the elephants from poaching, but actually also deal with another issue often happening there, which is a human-wildlife conflict. When we're running out of space for the wildlife, the elephant always goes the same route. They stomp on farmers' crops. Farmers really annoyed that he wants to shoot the elephant. So they do a mediation there. They reimburse the farmers. They're making sure there's also enough space and corridors for wildlife and biodiversity to flourish there too. Secondly, in South Africa, we founded an education center called the Wildlife Spirit, and that focuses on teaching local youth and adults about the importance of the wildlife, but also allows international visitors to come around, learn about the elephants. We provide job opportunities for local communities there, and that's where we make our elephant poo paper as well.
and then there's a third one as well, isn't there?
Yeah, the last but not least, for sure, the Sheldrake Wildlife Trust. This is one of the most successful orphan elephant rescue and rehabilitation programs in the world. It's an elephant orphanage in Nairobi in Kenya that nurtures orphan baby elephants who've been found in the wild, either moms being killed due to poaching or other human intervention. And each baby elephant has a day keeper that nurses them back to strength and then prepares them to actually be released to the wild. And with these ones, we actually are miniatures. You'll spot probably there is a baby elephant here with a milk bottle, and this is a tribute. Support from these minis go into Sheldrake Foundation here.
I mean, that's absolutely superb. It's just wonderful that you're able to support all of these groups. And heading for €1 million is just incredible. For anyone watching, if you've been inspired by what you've just heard and seen, you can, of course, contribute to the conservation effort and enjoy a delicious sundowner of your own by visiting the website. And just tell us what the website is, Kat.
It is simply elephant-gin.com. And for all of you Destination Show guests, we have a special discount for you. So you'll get 10% if you type in Destinations 2021 during your checkout, and that's valid until end of March.
Well, that's fantastic. Oh, by the way, you also make quite a few other fantastic gin-based drinks as well, don't you?
Oh, we do, yes. So as I mentioned, we have this wonderful slow gin. We have Elephant Strength Gin at 57%, which is our version of the traditional Navy Strength. We've just launched a new coffee liqueur as well, which is based on Elephant Age Gin, rye-based, and an Ethiopian cold brew coffee, which is absolutely delicious and dangerous in the morning as well.
And of course, this wonderful gin here, it's absolutely delicious. Look, Kat, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Seriously, congratulations on everything you're doing at Elephant Gin and continued success for the future.
Thank you so much, Andrew. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. A big thank you to Kat there and the whole team, of course, at Elephant Gin. You can see why they've won so many awards for their work, including Lux Magazine's Best Handcrafted Gin just last year. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed that, and we will see you shortly.